Hi, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Dad. Today we're going to be making amazing, my favorite cookie in the whole world, after, of course, the Linzer cookie. I'm sure you watched episode 3 already, and that is the chocolate chip cookie. It's a super easy cookie to make. It takes about 4 different steps, and it doesn't take too many ingredients. You're gonna need the following: granulated sugar, brown sugar, flour. You're also gonna need some semi-sweet chocolate chips, salt, baking soda, not baking powder, vanilla, some butter, and a couple of other things that you're always going to need in your kitchen, which is your measuring tools here. And then what I really like to use, it's not necessary, but it makes life a lot easier, that's parchment paper. So we start off with preheating the oven. I always like to start with preheating the oven because that is going to make your life a lot easier. So now we're going to start creaming the sugar. We're going to take 1 cup of butter. We live in Florida, which is great. So we just leave the butter out on the kitchen table for about a half an hour. Actually, I had Mom go and buy this already, and we didn't even put it into the fridge. We just left it on the countertop. I take it out of the box so it's nice and soft. This butter is perfect. It's still a little bit below room temperature, so it's probably about 70 degrees, and it's gonna be perfect. And then we're gonna take our sugar. We're gonna start with the brown sugar. We need 3/4 of a cup packed. So we put it in, we scoop it in here. 1, 2, 3. That's the brown sugar. This is granulated sugar. 1, 2, 3. Lock it. Let her rip. So now that it looks nice and creamy, I'm going to add 2 eggs right into the mix. It's 1. 2. And the next ingredient is going to be 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I can't read what it says. I like that a little extra. I like the way the vanilla smells, right? It smells so good. I wish it tasted as good as it smells. We're gonna add the other ingredients. So we have 2 and 1/4 cup of flour that we're going to add in, along with some of our other ingredients. So that right there. Then we need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. That's baking soda, not baking powder. Okay? That's going to help it rise a little bit. And then also salt. It says 1/4 teaspoon, which is about 3 big pinches. I'm going to save this salt for later as well. And we're just going to whisk this together just like that. Just get it together. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna add this. Now I'm gonna add this to the mix. Not all at once. A little bit at first. And then I'm slowly gonna add the rest of the mix so it incorporates really nicely. Now that that's going, we are gonna add our favorite ingredients. You know what that is? Yeah. So we need 2 cups of chocolate chips. It's also important for us to mention the clean as you go technique, which is as you work, you should be cleaning up after yourself so that by the time you're done, it's not all one big yucky mess, but it's actually pretty much just 1 or 2 things that you need to do. I think this is 2 cups exactly how they sell it. Let's find out. It's 1, that's 2 cups. Great. Love it. Now that that's going, we have, now that that's going, I love this thing. I like to put the chocolate chips on so that they can cool down. We're gonna add salt on top of them after that. I'm gonna take these guys and add the parchment paper. It doesn't need to be perfect. This parchment paper didn't come out nice. You can see it's a little funky. Not super happy about that, but it is what it is. Sometimes I'll put some cooking spray down so the parchment paper sticks to the spray, but it looks like the parchment paper is doing an okay job. All right, so that's done. There's only one last thing to do, and that's to make sure the mix is done perfectly. Did you hear the beep? The beep, 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 beep? That means that the oven is ready, so we're ready to go. So here we go. Lift this guy up. You can see the mixture looks perfect. Does that look like regular cookie dough to you, Jagger? Looks like cookie dough to me, and it's a lot, which is great. This makes a lot of cookies, this recipe, which is fantastic. I like to save the paddle in case there's a kid that wants to lick it. So I use this rubber spatula just to get down there in case anything wasn't really mixed out. But KitchenAids are pretty awesome, so they're usually pretty much perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start baking. At this point, there we go. We can put away my favorite kitchen tool. Thank you, KitchenAid. Hashtag JaggerFallonDad. Hashtag Cooking with Dad. Ready? This is a regular spoon from home. We're just gonna use one so that we can kind of basically get what the size is gonna be. We want it to be uniform so that they all cook about the same size. That's why if it doesn't really matter what size you choose, as long as what you choose you're gonna use for all of the cookies. They're meant to be about 3 inches apart. You'll see. These guys might bump into each other a little bit. Say la vie, it's not the end of the world. All right, so that's pretty much it. We play with different amount of time. So if you have parchment paper, it usually takes a little bit longer than the time that it says in the instructions. The recipe calls for 12 minutes. I'm gonna say it's gonna take a bit longer than that, but we'll see. I'm gonna ask Alexa to set a timer for 13 minutes. Lucky 13. I'm only gonna put in 2 of these. We'll poke our head in, but I like to leave everything in the oven alone and let it do its magic. So here we go. We're going right in the oven. Big boy on top, little guy on the bottom. Say a little prayer. And there we go.
10 minutes later.
Okay, guys, let's have a look. Not quite ready yet, but they look great. All right, so the cookies out of the oven. The last touch is we're just going to finish them with just a pinch of salt. Just like that, which makes them even more delicious.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe.